Okay, we're live, so.
All right. Thank you. Can you hear me? Yeah, perfect. Well, okay, so hello and welcome everyone to this SMCSU Annual General Meeting. We've had a great year. It's been quite a rough one because of the online, switching to in person, back to online, back to in person. And I'm sure you're all probably wondering, like, what has SMCSU done in this year? So that's what this meeting is all about. Me and my fellow councilors are going to share with you what individually they've accomplished this year and what they hope to accomplish for next year as well. And so other than that, hello to everyone. Hello to the live stream over there. We're right here, and let's get right into it. So, thank you. So this is some general expectations. As it is, guys, each council is going to present their portfolio from the past year. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them till the end. We will answer them accordingly. Okay? Finally, of course, as it is, we expect all of you to be respectful, considerate, and kind to other guests and councilors. Any behavior that's going to be respectful and inappropriate will result in a removal presentation. We definitely want to hear your questions. We want to ask you to also be respectful to the adjacent councilor as well. Okay? So, with that little expectation out of the way, let's get right into it. So she couldn't wait for introduction. Well, yeah, so first off, let's please welcome a big round of applause for our president.
Hi guys. I'm going to try to keep this short and simple. So basically, as president, you work on internal stuff with Sylvester, Dwayne, Emma. And so this year, again, we had items for the Student Improvement Fund. And then we wrote 2 letters to President Sylvester. So one about capacity restrictions, and then the other, I think, the Student Improvement Fund again. And then President doesn't usually run events, but I'm Black, and so I wanted to do something for Black History Month, and so I did. And then residence renovations, and then this year I sat on the elections appeal board, and then other collaborations and committees that I worked with was College Council. So basically, just people like Mark McGowan, Emma, everybody, and some nights. We just talk about matters related to the college. And then we St. George Round Table, so all the presidents from other unions and faculties come together and discuss issues pertaining to students. And the University Provost Office, again, the Kusai group, and then working with other student union presidents. Yeah.
Good president.
And so, as you can see, I put up the so yeah, that's Abby. And so yeah, I basically did events over 3 days. 2 of the events, 2 of the days was food, and then one day we had a cardio kind of workout Afrobeats class, and then on Thursday we had Black students discussion panel that was facilitated by our lovely Kavya and oh right. This is a park that we started last year, so we spent about, I want to say $1.2 million renovating Queens Park. The president obviously matched that. And so I don't know if you guys have ever seen the bathrooms in Tifi. Yeah, but they were from like the 1900s. And so now they are from, this century. So yeah, that's something that we did. And there's also like a changing room, which is something that we discussed as well. Yeah. And then, so for the items for the Student Improvement Fund that we all collaborated on, this year we want to renovate the athletic field, get a sound system for the coop so you don't have to look at the sound system. We're renovating Cervera hall beds and flooring, so I actually went with Dwayne to look at floor samples because all of a sudden I'm a designer. And so basically everyone's going to get a double bed. Which I guess can be moved depending on how you want it, because if you have it one way, it's kind of tight. But and then we're trying to pick a flooring color pattern that goes with the cabinets and the beds. Empty hall, 4th floor shelving. This was a project that was already started before, but the 4th floor for some reason didn't get shelved, so we're just finishing that up. And then we're renovating Queens Park common room, so we're going to change up the chairs, the floors, and basically all the furniture. And then another one that's kind of on the fence is for Brennan 166, 168, to be renovated to be used by mental health counselors. So That's pretty much what I did this year. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much, Adara. We appreciate you sharing the different projects you've worked on. And so our president, and very important role is the vice president. So let me welcome Henry to please come on over and
Okay, can you hear me? Yeah. So as the vice president, our role is to generally support the president and the rest of the council. However, there is a few things that I did that I'm really proud of, and one is the regular executive meetings we have this year. I think they really helped with team building in the council and facilitating the collaboration between the president, vice president, and the rest of the council. And the other thing is the internal calendar of the council, which you can see the picture here, which had all of the events that we had. And I think it was really helpful for us to know what's going on within the council, since there's many of us, and it was kind of hard to collaborate sometimes. And the other thing was helping various councilors with their events, that I was privileged to get to do that. And the other one was we had a constitution review board this semester, and we reviewed the constitution. There wasn't any edits that we wanted to make, but we just reviewed it and made sure things are up to date.
Our baby. There you go.
Okay, thank you. And then as the council, so the accomplishments that we had is, so far all of the meeting minutes are up on our website. You can check them out at, I think, smcsu.ca. And then we also had regular weekly office hours, and we provided services like the pool, free printing, and football for the students for free. And yeah, I think that was all for me. Thank you all.
thank you very much, Henry. And so now, before we go on to the next counselor, we're going to talk about the financial report of the state. Everyone's wondering, where the heck is the money going? So let's see. Or not? Okay. All right. So first things first, in terms of our income, we have a little comparison to last year, which obviously was the online year. As you'd expect, no surprise there, we have double the money from last year, and that's mainly because, as you guys might know, to check out your ACORN, we charge a student fee per semester, and as you said, in the online year, they were already, we were unable to have the in-person events or the big events which cost money, and so that's why last year's council did not charge their student fees. This year, however, especially as we saw in March, we had a great opportunity to really have a lot of initiatives, a lot of big events, shout out to the formal and so on and so forth. And so that's how you can see here we have roughly $350,000 in revenue, where it's mainly from student levy fees and also a little bit from our reserves as well. So that's about the income. Now a big one about the expenditure. So first of all, in terms of our estimate versus our actual, no surprise, we did go over our actual spending, but we went for $241,000 in actual spending. And the reason why it's a little bit about the estimates, because as you'd expect in September or in January, people generally online. And so they kept it a bit more conservative, and suddenly we had that shift back in March. And so all of my fellow councils put their full effort to really make use of the money we got from you to make it as big as possible. Okay, any questions we answer at the end. Okay, so next now, in terms of the expenditure, now you're wondering, okay, a lot of money, how is that divided up? So as you can see here, this great beautiful circle is the formal. Shout out to the formal committee for spending most of the night. Yeah. And so, and other than that, as you can see, we have our administration, just like printing, the yearbook, so on and so forth. Oh yeah, shout out to the yearbook. We haven't done the yearbook yet. Other than that, we also have our counselors, academics, athletics, arts, ICO, MHA, RCA. And if you're wondering, those total sums, what does that amount to? That's what council's going to get to later. And finally, we also have our attention to the clubs as well. The big thing I want to highlight, in case you're wondering, is this is as of April 1st. We still have a month left, so the clubs one is a little low right now because they haven't filed for reimbursements yet. But that's all the information about the expenditure, the income, and of course the breakdown. So Next, we have now our lovely VP Academic Affairs, Claire.
I'm gonna sit because I'm really tired.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not gonna go into that list, it's really wordy, but I do wanna note that I did not forget about the club recognition bylaws. I'm still working on that, and hopefully I'll finish that by the end of April. And some challenges include varied turnout for the different events. Some have really high turnout, some we thought would have high turnout, but it turned out to be really low. And something really helpful that we did was having a Google form at the section that says to kind of predict the uncertainty. I don't know what I'm saying. My brain is melting. But kind of predict if they would come. So there's asking them, okay, well, what's the certainty of whether or not they'll come, and then just say definitely, maybe, or not coming. And so that lets us predict that. And some other challenges include a lot of events that planned in the beginning of the year were canceled due to timing. It's hard to predict what will happen during the school year. And another challenge is the Read and Share Challenge. It's an online initiative, and no one participated in that. I think people thought of it as extra homework, but I personally thought, I know in particular last year there was a lot of different events, like some political upheaval kind of things, and I really enjoyed reading people's Instagram stories and kind of learning more about that, and that's kind of how the Read and Share Challenge got inspired, but unfortunately no one really participated. So, something really cool we did this year is create an academics logo. So we have that for our Instagram account, and we also created a theme for our Instagram account. It's supposed to be like adventure / like camping theme, but it didn't work out. It was really hard to kind of integrate that in every single post, so we just went with an overall all colors theme. So that worked out well. And we had 2 club recognitions. The first one was successful, but I was also like a very clueless academics, and so I sent the post really late, and I think that is why certain clubs did not apply because they didn't have sufficient amount of time. So we had a second club recognition, and I think that had low turnout as well because it kind of overlapped with the midterm time, and I'm sure a lot of people were really busy. But as you can see, that post in particular has a campaign theme, so we tried that in the beginning. Okay, and then something really interesting we did this year was have these one-on-one meetings with students that were interested in starting a club. So this leads to our next slide. So we have 10 clubs that were recognized this year, and 4 potential clubs that may apply for recognition in the summertime. So first we have the World University Service of Canada. That's a nonprofit organization, and after like the whole Ukraine conflict happened, some student leaders are thinking that we could start this club for the fundraise for Ukraine's needed refugees, and I thought that's a really, really cool idea. Second, trail walking club, which is encompasses exercise. COVID, a lot of people stay indoors, and that just encourages people to go out and kind of be in nature more and look around the city. And another club doesn't have a name, but interestingly enough, it's a university college student reached out for this one. He was interested in starting a social club. So this would include events that going to markets, going to a bar, restaurants, and socializing in general. Another one is Play for Tomorrow. This is also an organization in support of youth development as well as education. So they have a lot of like cool science events. So cool stuff. I have a lot of slides. Okay, so my first event was the SMC Club Fair, and as you can see, I was very stressed out. And that was as I should be. I had no idea what I was doing, but I think I learned a lot through the other events that I had. And the club fair, I think it went well. A lot of people left early, and so that's why we had the virtual clubs fair series on our Instagram for students that couldn't come to the club fair. And I got a lot of nice comments about that, and they found it really useful. Some clubs reached out saying they did get some members reaching out to them, and so that makes me really happy. Cool. This is something I'm really proud of. Neil and I started this. It's a bi-weekly masterclass / movies, and we have it alternates between a masterclass and a movie. And the purpose of this is to not only encourage students to communicate more, but also socialize and talk to each other and all that good stuff. And I really saw how the series grew. It started off with very few students, and then we got regular members coming and really look forward to this, which shows the intention of having this ongoing type of series. And I think we grew a lot as a team, and we made lots of new friends. And the picture in the corner was our last master class, and a lot of people came in person because it was the last one. And yeah, that was a really sad thing for me.
Aww.
I'm not gonna cry.
No one said anything, okay?
Well, I felt tears coming, so this is something that I talked about with my committee members. 2 of them are first years, and I think what's really great about UFT is that we have a lot of resources, but it's hard to kind of pick and choose and kind of navigate through it all. And so my committee members chose the top few that they thought would be most important for them as a first year, and that's how this series came to be. So we have our study groups and academic planning, statistics for student success, as well as help centers and exam resources, and we kind of touched on mental health and wellness as well. And we also use state rights signatures. So here we have our exam journey. This was kind of inspired by, well, I volunteer at this hospital for kids with disabilities, and kind of how they reintegrate them back into, I guess, normal life after surgery is kind of through therapeutic activities, and that's part of the recovery process, to have them focus on something other than kind of the pain they're in. And so I thought exams are painful and need to be. I thought that instead of focusing on more academics and more pain, we should focus it on mental health and fun activities, and that's kind of how this got inspired. So we first had our speculative painting, and then board games nights, and then music cafe. And something really cool is in the beginning of the year, I wanted my committee members to take charge in an event of their own after seeing how the other events went. And so Juan was in charge of the music cafe, and I'm super proud of him. He reached out to all these students and the faculty of music, and had all these cool things, and it was just amazing. I'm so proud of him. And yeah, and Tala, who's the upcoming VP of academics, she was in charge of the exam wellness kit, so she was very involved in the planning process and kind of giving ideas, and she also gave all these really wonderful posts. Yeah,
was also a lot of collaboration, and the mentoring was also really amazing in helping the exam moments. So I'm really grateful for the help. And then we had our workshop series. So I guess some of them are more academic related. One of the workshops that I really liked was the service leadership workshop, and we invited a medical student to come and talk. And he was only supposed to stay for 30 minutes, but then he stayed for an hour, kind of talking about how his journey to medical school started off as an engineering student. And he graduated with an engineering degree, and kind of how he went from there to medical school and extracurriculars he did, and like what it's like to be in medical school, kind of how that looks like the schedule and like how the balance is like. So I thought that was really helpful for students because that's transferable to all areas of being a student, like scheduling. And I won't talk about the other ones because there's a lot. But I really like the picture on the top right. I think that's super cute. That was a student leadership panel. And something really cool is also that went along in the same week as the exam jam week, and it built momentum. So a lot of people that came to the student leadership panel ended up going to all 3 other events. And yeah. Something else that we worked on was the Students for Survivors campaign. I worked on that with Evangeline. I think they worked really hard on that, and I think the success is actually this week, so if you guys want to show it, you can. And I think that's all for my slides, and that's my budget breakdown.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you very much. We love how invested you were in all the events you did. And so a big thing which is not academic talk about is obviously the class budget breakdowns. We want to support the other clubs too. And so to give you a bit of an estimate, as you can see here, Triple was at roughly 25,000, but other clubs range from 500 to 1,000 to 2,000. I do want to preface, if you're wondering why Triple is so expensive, it's because it costs a lot for costumes. They have to get a location off campus, so a theater is really expensive as well, and also scripts aren't easy as well. So that's why we have to give them a higher budget, and definitely I think they need to do it. And the other clubs, they gave them a budget based on their own estimate, and so for any of you aspiring club leaders next year, don't worry. Once again, we will be at the first, get a chance to give you what the budget is like, and we try our best to make sure we give you that amount. So. Thank you very much, Claire, and Mr. for Academic Affairs. Another great area is about arts, being able to showcase your talents and so on and so forth. So, Hamna, please come on stage.
Hello, everyone. I just want to start off by saying I'm really proud of all the counselors this year. We've been able to accomplish so much, even though it was a pretty difficult year, so I'm proud of everyone for that. For arts as well, we've had a really fun year overall. Some of the successes we've had was great turnout for in-person events. So we've had sometimes even more people than anticipated were able to show up, and it was just great seeing so many people all at once in the group. We've also received a lot of positive feedback for some of our events that I had feedback forms for, and that's why we've had 2 paint nights. Actually, one was in the fall semester. And because of popular demand, we were able to bring it back again in the winter semester. And another thing that was successful was the Christmas Festival. I was able to collaborate with the RCA, Angela, and we were able to decorate Christmas ornaments and decorate the tree, so that was really great. Another successful event was Kelly's Corner. So we've had 2 Kelly's Corners talent shows this year. One was in fall semester and one was in this semester, and it was a great turnout overall. Everyone had a great time. It was a really fun evening, so I'm really happy with that. One thing that we started this year was the passion projects, and this was started actually by Emma, so thank you Emma for this great idea. We were able to get a lot more submissions than we anticipated, so I was really happy seeing so many people submit all their projects that they've been working on. So this could be anything that they were working on throughout the pandemic or when we went back to the online portion of the semester. And so people submitted things from crochet, their paintings, poetry, performances, and that's the one up there. So there's a crochet frog, Penny submitted a crochet scarf. And yeah, we had someone submit a whole city native Legos. So it was really great seeing all the amazing projects that students are working on, and I think it's great to I think it's an inspiration for other students as well to maybe pick out something that they may not have thought they'd like and start a new hobby. Another thing that I did that actually started this semester was social media trivia. So every week we would have trivia up on our arts Instagram page, and the first few students would get all of them right, would be able to win prizes. So this would range from anything related to the arts and architecture, so art history, art around the world, and local Toronto history. So I think that was also a great success, and I'm sure people learned a lot because I know I did when I was making the questions. And another thing I'm really happy about was collaborations. So we were able to collaborate both internally within SMCSU and outside of SMCSU, so youth clubs, and I'm really happy with that because it's really, I think it's great to work with different portfolios and just have more people working on a project at one time. Other than that, I think some of the challenges for the fall semester, it was kind of difficult getting submissions for Kelly's Corner in the beginning. This might be because either people didn't know what Kelly's Corner was, or they were just getting used to getting back in person. But I think this was in the winter semester, we've had a lot of submissions, and a lot of people also showed up the day of, and they were able to perform. We just had a really great time. We also have some photos up there of singing, performing, playing their instruments. Yeah, that was also a really fun event. Another challenge, like Claire mentioned, it was really hard to anticipate the number of attendees, even with the registration form, because not everyone who registered would be able to attend, or there wouldn't be as many signups, and more people would show up. So I think it was just a bit hard to accommodate for everyone that was because of that. But I guess that's just something that goes with having in-person events. Another challenge this year, because of the switch to online, back in person, back and forth, I wasn't really able to have as many initiatives as I wanted. But I think overall there's a lot more successes and challenges, and I'm really happy I was able to provide space for students to just get together and have fun. I know you can't really see it in these photos, but a lot of students are smiling. Especially Payne, I think that was one of my favorite events. We had bubble tea, we had snacks, and so many people showed up, and just had a relaxing evening. Just painting. This is the arts expense breakdown. So most of the budget went towards Kelly's Corner and paint nights, especially the winter one, because like I mentioned, we had a lot more sign-ups than anticipated within the first day, which was really surprising. And Kelly's Corner, the expenses went towards food and prizes, and everything else, it's pretty evenly split between the prizes for the passion projects, the social media trivia, and a collaboration with BPM academics for exam time. I think that's it for me. So.
Thank you very much, Amna. I'm gonna also give a shout out to you because Amna and Ian also started we will see later, also got elected later than the rest of us, and despite that, they ran many great events at the show. Big shout out. And so alongside arts, it's also important to work on your fitness and be involved in the sports team that you're interested in. And so accordingly, we have now our VP athletics.
So, hi everyone. So for athletics, the main event I think that everyone hears about is intramurals. Intramurals, I was so happy this year. It's the first year in like 2 years that we've been able to have intramurals properly. So I think we'll talk about both the successes and the challenges surrounding intramurals. I'll start with the bad thing so we can end with a good thing. The first main challenge is that over the 2 years that we had the break, the whole sign-up process changed. So when we came back, we had a group of third and fourth years who knew the old sign-up process, and then we had the first years who didn't know any sign-up process. And so I think getting everyone up to that level of knowing what they had to do was a big challenge. But we overcame it, and we're working towards making sure that everyone knows how to sign up properly. Another problem is also default. If you don't know, if you default a game, you get a fine of $35 per game. So every time you default, 35 go from the bank. So I think that's a very big, Como does not like to hear that. So that's one of the challenges I've been working on. I think the fall semester was worse than the winter semester, so I'm happy that we're working on that and it's improving. I've come to the conclusion that talking to the captains about that at the beginning is very important, so we're making sure to do that nowadays. But on the good side, I think we had, in the fall semester, we had over 250 participants, and then in the winter, 200? We had a bit less, but it's because we started later. I'm very excited about that. And another good thing about intramurals is this year we got jerseys. We didn't have to bring them back. So I hope everyone enjoyed those. I think it's a really nice memento for people to be able to have about the memory that they had, playing with St. Knights, playing for St. Knights, making friends, so everyone's really happy about them. So that's it about intramurals. About the other events we have for athletics, the first one is the 19-run challenges. We had 2 of them. Idara started them, I kept them going. We had 2 of them, one in at the end of summer and then one in January when we were back in quarantine. They went well. A lot of people were running, I was so surprised by how fast people run. Honestly, one person texted me within like 2 days they had finished the 30K. I was like, are you okay? So yeah, I was very happy with that. We also had a basketball tournament that worked really well as well. It was outside on the quad. Sometimes people were laughing, making friends. Again, all the good stuff we want to see. And our last night this semester was the Super Bowl viewing party. Happy, thank you for that, for the help on help. We had pizza, we had people sitting, watching, talking, making friends, everything we wish for in a good event. And then at the end, I also helped out with the field day / SMCSU family dinner. We don't know the exact name, but we helped. And just one last challenge. I don't know if it was because I'm new to Toronto, but I was really hoping that by March we would have good weather. So,
That's funny.
So that's why I was hoping to do a spike ball tournament. Didn't happen, but that's what we're planning to do over summer. So be excited for that. So yeah, those are the posters. As you can see, pretty good posters. Oh, and I kept the Instagram going. And yeah, this is the breakdown. As you can see, most of it goes for intramural in general, the jerseys and the fees. We pay a lot of fees. Because we're paying refs, we're paying for the renting of the spaces, so it makes sense at the end of the day. And then intramural jerseys as well, since we get the fee. But yeah, that was it. Thank you very much. Can I say one last thank you? All the intramural captains, you've been amazing. Without you, I would not be able to do this.
Thank you very much, Joanna. I think it's great to see that we had an involvement in not just the interviews, but also other events, and that's great to see. And so, after athletics, I'm sure many of you, actually all of you hopefully, follow at USMCSU on Instagram and also our website. If you're wondering who does all these amazing posts, it is our lovely VP of Communications, Alessia.
Okay. Hey everyone. So, for VP of Communications, my main job is just being on Instagram, being on the website, updating everything. The second something comes in, we make an update. Pretty much one of the like biggest things we did, or that I did. Actually, as a team, we all did this, but
That's all you.
was the contest. So last year we had a few like giveaways, like gift cards, and I said, no, I think that these children and students alike, that all the students need bigger, better prizes. So I said, let's up the ante, let's up the stakes a little bit. So overall, our contest involvement has been really high. We had so we had the 12 days of giveaways that happened around the holiday time. So we gave out 12 fairly large prizes. It was really exciting getting them all in the mail. And then when I had to give them out, I was like, I wish I bought double of these so I could have everything as well. The next thing we have at the top is our like end of year giveaway, which is happening right now. The link is in our bio. If you have not signed up for that, go do that. We have about 250 signups. The prices right now is a first, second, third system. First prize is an iPad Air, 256 gigabytes, space gray, with an Apple Pencil, so you can do your drawings, you can do your notes, whatever you want. Second prize is a Switch with Super Smash Bros. So you're getting a game and a system. And then third prize is a pair of in-ear Beats headphones. So we're truly living life. Go apply for that. Thank you, Kamal. Thanks for clapping. So some of the challenges that we had this year, which as it's been a little pointed out, is that even though there are a bunch of advertisements that go out and lovely advertisements made by my whole team and myself, sometimes enrollment is low and people don't really come out to the events. So yeah, that's it. Next, we have the website. So over the past year, we completely did an overhaul of the website and made it sort of easier to use. It's like cleaner, it's easier to look at, easier to navigate. So on the website, we have this one here with the blue, with the logo. That's just sort of the opening page. Beside that, we have all of our governance documents. So we have meeting minutes, we have expenditures. Yeah. So we have that for this year. We have it for, I believe, last year and the year before as well. So everything is up there. Also at the bottom, the little galleries, we have all of the photos from all of the events that we had this year. Everything has been put up so far, except the Ramadan events, because that happened earlier this week, and we just have not received the photos back yet. But as soon as they are delivered to me, I will upload them onto the website. With that, I want to say a huge shout out and a huge thank you to our photographers, our lovely. So a huge thanks to Aline, to Jennifer, and to Max, who are our everyday photographers. We also had formal photographers, which is sort of also under my belt. Wait, I don't know what the term is. They were with me too. They were my homies. And they were also Ali, Anna, and Kevin, so thank you to them. Next we have the expense breakdown. I'm going to leave this to Kamal because he knows everything. But also, just like a little overview, the biggest part is our promotions and giveaways because that's a bulk of my job. Then we also have the photographers, they get paid. The website price, obviously, to have a domain, which is usmcsu.ca. usmcsu.ca. It is linked in our bio on Instagram as well. You got paid for that. So we have the web hosting services, and then our SMCSU sweaters, which a lot of our lovely councils, me not including because I left out early this morning. And nobody told me to bring my sweater, but everybody is wearing them, so you will be seeing them throughout this live stream or without this. If somebody would like to come up here and model it. We have two styles. We have the crew neck.
Exhibit A.
the crew neck. And then we also have the full zip sweater. Okay, thank you very
The
much.
people watching just went down from that.
What? Oh yeah, they all started right off.
Give you a round of applause for Alessia, please. Thank you very much, Alessia. We definitely appreciate what you and your team do because social media it's a daily job. You gotta make sure to maintain it, and I think definitely do a good job. So, moving on now. Now it's time for the next portfolio, which has caused me a lot of trauma, a lot of headaches. I've spent most of the money. And big shout out now to Angela. Come on over.
Oh my god. Oh, good. $1 million budget. Oh.
So you're thinking, where did 75
Not me, ad. Okay, so a few things I had pretty good success with this year in general. Event turnout. People are hungry. People want to eat free food, and we pay for it. So I found great success with that. I think when people realize that they're getting a free meal out of something, they're very likely to turn out. Most of my events got well over 100 people. Some of them got like 400, 600. Those events include Michaelmas, which was a pretty big fun one in the fall. Things like Winterfest and the Christmas one, and Halloween Fest. It was very fun because I got to collab with some other clubs like the Commuter Dogs. So it was fun, like moving it outside. So we provided like little game bags and like civic kits, which like some of the safety concerts helped on, which was awesome. People like food trucks. We couldn't really have due to like COVID protocols. Some of the off-campus events like comics didn't happen, so a way we were able to replace those was just kind of having some food like outside and food trucks was like really fun because we had to meet people outside, and it was safer. The weather was so nice back then, which was great. Elder Movement was also really fun, kind of inspired by orientation, so we had like, some food there, and we watched Coraline, which was really awesome outside, and spooky at night times. Then into the next semester, we started off with the new year, which is awesome. RP week updates, so what's around with them. They're okay. RP, I don't know. But they were good. Carnival Valley was a really fun collaboration. We had like, some inside and outside. We had some like lunches, people liked it, good eats. Friday's family dinner, which who knows what that one was called. It was like free food. It was really fun to collaborate on that one. We had the food truck was very friendly, very fun. We found some food in the fridge from that the other day. Don't eat it. What? And then we just had some more like city bags, some Valentine's Day bags, which was fun. There's like this event called Formal. Really? Which was very fun. But then, yeah, I had a lot of fun collaborating with this event on events with other clubs and other concerts. It was really fun. I think I could have like collaborated more. I think we got collaborated a lot, but I think next year that's something we look forward to. Is like some more collaboration with some more new clubs we mentioned be up and running. That'd be awesome. Some challenges I found was just like investing in my committee. Like I think in the first half of the year in the fall semester, we had like a good engagement, but then kind of as things got tougher, courses got heavier. I think some people kind of like dropped off, which was okay. I understand. Like we all don't worry about it. So I think if I could have like invested more in my committee during the year, I think I could have like done better with that. But they came in it, so we did it. We got it. I just like also same thing like delegation and organization. I think it could have been more organized. Yeah. I agree. But people ate this accounts. Time constraints and like COVID protocol, I think is very difficult, especially in this formal. We kind of started off in 10 with the COVID protocol. That's been very different, but I think it kind of worked out in the end. We got it. It was a little like tough planning and like getting organized with that too, but I think towards the end like it worked out. It was kind of opening back up, and I think we all had challenges with that too. But yeah, let's talk about formal. Woo! It was great fun. I had so much fun. So I had fun planning it. I had a good week with my friends, I had a good formal week, we all learned lessons, which was fun, we all, we learned to collaborate better, and I think like that was awesome in itself, like it's going to friends, like, most difficult future, but like, this is a great thing that come out, especially if you see like, how beautiful the event turned out, like, that all kind of like works together and it's all part of the journey, which is awesome. We all look great. We all the venue was beautiful. It was, I don't know, for me, it was just like so fulfilling and fun to like, see it through and we put in like every Sunday week for a couple hours and like just to see everything come together and we had so much like online promotion, marketing, and like we collaborated with like all these different like vendors and the ROM was so wonderful and like this like seeing what came together within like a month of planning was insane. So I can be so I'm forever grateful to all the counselors who helped and all the and we just look great. So anyways. That's it. Yeah. I'm sorry. But yeah, from all, it's a huge event. It was 40 people. It was a beautiful venue. It cost a lot of money. Let's not be around much. But in general, I think after like Michaelmas and like Winter and Christmas Fest, like how to like book food trucks and everything, I understood like how much those cost and like what to expect from that, which was good. Other than that, we had smaller events like Halloween and the Valentine's Day and New Year, which like was just general catering. I think we all kind of like once we kind of got back going, we all kind of understood how much that would cost and like to be realistic with our budgets and that. So Florida is really expensive, sorry, with the budget. It's very cool. Yeah, that's it for me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Angela. I think as a big community life, we have that big expectation to have all these big events, have all these things going, and I think we definitely met up to the challenge and even surpassed it. So thank you very much. And so next is obviously we talk a lot about money. So I am the money man. So pretty much my portfolio, which is this me and Emma, as you can see right here. So you don't need that to everybody yet, Emma. That's all I'm saying, But anyway, so first of all, about our successes, where I think one of the biggest things was one of the most important things was being transparent, as we share right now as well. Throughout the quarter, thank you to Alessia for posting that. We had increased transparency by posting about this quarterly. So that means not just now, but also 3 other times we got a chance to see exactly what we spend our money on. And of course, we wanted to spend so much money this semester. And so you will definitely see that by the end of April, which is our last end of quarter. And so also another big thing, as you see here, you're gonna keep seeing, we had some amazing events. And the nice thing was that I feel like all the vendors are pretty happy. We have a good relationship with them. And so accordingly, I feel like I was able to support my fellow counselors and other clubs involved in the big events and making sure that all the vendors got paid on time. Because as you'd expect, if people aren't paid on time, it destroys relationships, further issues, so on and so forth. But I feel like working together, we really got a chance to make sure none of that happened. Finally, another thing I'm really happy about was it was really hard to plan an appropriate budget because how many times we switched from online to in-person, back and forth. But I feel like once again, kudos to my fellow counselors where we met up accordingly and adjusted the budget to make sure we spent it as best as we could in the current situation. So that's why I'm really happy and it's a success story. Finally, now challenges as you'd expect. I am but one person. Emma's amazing, but I am not. So unfortunately, we have a tight timeline for reimbursement, right? Especially in March, right? Everyone had an event. And so we got quite stressed, and that's what the photo kind of represents. Where pretty much a big thing is obviously we have our account with the bank, and so we were the challenge for the fact that our checkbook got finished, and so we had to get a new checkbook. And so it's just kind of like sharing a little behind the scenes, where sometimes the reason why it takes a bit of time for reimbursements or why we can't do it immediately is because Emma and I have to go to TV sometimes, sort some stuff out, and then accordingly give you the amount of money you spend. That's a little bit of a challenge there, but it's one of those things where like I feel like next time, now we're gonna hopefully knock on wood in person here, we have a committee, and that way more people can able to share responsibility. More people can share responsibility and have a good time. Another chapter, I feel like, I want to give a shout out to the previous VP Finance, Roxanne. She did a great job in improving the financial literacy at SMC. And I feel like because of the new counselors we had this year and also just a transition from online to in-person and back and forth, I felt like I wasn't really able to continue that. I wanted to make sure the other counselors had their focus. And just wanted to really encourage the next VP Finance and the team to really put focus on very important things too. And for them to continue. Finally, another big thing is, I think Claire mentioned some new clubs. Another thing obviously is people sometimes also don't know how the new person, like how it works per se. And I feel like once again, because it all happened so quickly in September where people were still figuring out if they're going to be in person or not. It's one of those things where I feel like I could have worked better on the communication with them. So that smaller clubs know, it's a reimbursement form template, you fill this out, you give it to me, and accordingly you pay you back. So I feel like some people got it, other people didn't. And my hope for next year is everyone gets it. And so pretty much that's it from VP Finance. I hope now you have a better idea of like what behind the scenes me and Emma get up to. And pretty much the last lecture I have is just me pointing at you because it's all about you guys. I want to support you guys, and I feel like this year we've been able to do that. And I hope next year we can continue to do that.
Context of why Emma's daily was
Okay, so the context for that is that, another important thing is that as you expect Emma and I are executive signing officers for checks. And what it means is that if you don't want to check to bounce or to get a proper check, you need Emma and I's signature or somebody else's. When I got into the VP of Finance role, Emma and I went numerous times and it just wouldn't want me. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, it just wouldn't want to make me an executive signing officer. And finally, once we did, Emma and I were so overjoyed. And that is the emotions right here. So that's all behind the scenes video. But yeah, thank you very much, everyone. And now, on to the next portfolio. Is another one, once again, I think St. Mark's is so big and diverse. You have various communities, we are obviously our Catholic college. I think there's been some great events in that side. And Warren, okay, tell us more about it, please.
Okay, I'm going to keep this short and snappy. So I'm Warren, your VP of RCA. And a lot of what I do is actually to kind of bridge the gap between the campus ministry and various communities and religious associations within the St. Michael's College ecosystem. So one of my first events we did was a collaboration with the Ant Club at Michaelmas. It was a great event. There was a lot of great food. Everyone was very happy, so I consider that a win. On November 11, 2021, we paid our respects to the soldiers and people that sacrificed their lives at the St. Michael's College community to defend our nation and our ideals. And we were able to buy a wreath and lay it down and pay our respects through an event. So I believe that's very important. We collaborated with a lot of other VPs on various events. So for Michaelmas, we also collaborated on the iftar and also, various events like that. I'm sure we've also mentioned previously there's Black History Month. We had a lot of events. And yeah, the iftar just happened, I guess, a few days ago, but it went really well. There was a lot of participation. And yeah, I guess there were some struggles. So in first semester, the turnout was very good because everyone's very willing to get back into school and get involved again. And it was great to have people participate, in all these events. But so I guess the Omicron wave kind of threw everything out of whack for a lot of people and made planning very difficult for us. But ultimately we were able to still, after getting back in person, we were able to host a couple of really great events, and I like that. And I guess that kind of explains the poor turnout in second semester. But we had very great events such as Black History Month and the iftar. And the Ramadan iftar, which just happened a couple of days ago, was Okay. Okay. So this is the budget breakdown. We spent around $7,000 on mindfulness. We bought a wreath for Remembrance Day, which cost around $250. For Black History Month, we spent $7,800. And for the iftar, the expenditure was roughly $1,500. And so you can see that, we did a great job. And I'm thankful to serve as your RCA this year. Thank you. And you know, God bless you.
Thank you, Mark. I also want to give a shout out to the team. Big shout out to our photographer who got into Friday just happening 2 days ago. So big shout out to them. Once again, lovely photographers. We hope to see you next year as well. Okay. So thank you very much, Mark. RCA is great. And now you've all seen the councils that have happened since years before. It's time for we've had about 2 new councilors this year in 2 new very important areas. One of them is obviously international students. Many of you are international. You must hear, what's happening here. What can we do to really help international students? And I feel like this council, despite coming in late, has really done a lot of great work. And so I want to bring it up.
Hi everyone. So it's been my pleasure to serve as your VP ICO this year. I came in a bit late, but it was a very quick adjustment. Being an international student myself, I had a lot of ideas as to what I wanted to see here at SMC. And so some of my successes was the Holy event. I was thoroughly surprised by that event. I was not expecting such a big turnout, and I was very happy that so many people took interest in that. Apart from that, I did a collaboration with Angela and Giovanna, VP Athletics and VP Community Life for Friday Family Dinner with SMC, also known as International Field Day. The field day was and then there was a collaboration with Ayuska for Carnivale. That was also a very great event. We had Lunar New Year. That was one of the first events I was a part of. I collabed with Angela with that. It was a beautiful event. Everyone came out. It was the last we heard of meat dumplings. After that, very sad. We made those beautiful patterns over there. They were very creative. I was very proud to see. And it was also a collaboration with Campus Ministry. So thank you for that. And then lastly, we had Black History Month with our beautiful president, Idara, and Anthony there. It's a wonderful event. It was great seeing so much representation here on campus. And I look forward to doing many more events like that next year. Some of the challenges I did have, well, good thing we have a new Instagram account for ICO.
What's the handle?
Oh, the handle is ICO.SMCSU, I believe, or SMCSU.ICO, I will check. It's new, so I'm still grappling with it. Oh, it's SMCSU.ICO, it's there. It's there. Go follow it, guys. SMCSU.ICO. Yeah. And so one of the first things that I did on the Instagram was to have a challenge called Moving to Canada. So a lot of international students, they moved in this year, both first and second years. And so what I wanted to do with the Instagram was that students would share their experiences moving into Canada, what they did, what they would have done differently if they were given a second chance, advice they would give to new incoming students. And I would love to redo this challenge again next year to help other incoming students settle down in a new country, because being one of those students, it was difficult in the beginning, especially during COVID. So would love to do that for them in the upcoming years. So these were some of the posters we did for the events. Very, very fun times. So this is sort of my budget breakdown. My major one was the Holy event, because that was one of my independent events that I did. Everything else were collaborations I did with other counselors. It was a great time, and thank you everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabby. We love to see the different events you've had. Of course, everyone loves collaboration. It's lovely to see the different groups got involved with. Finally, we have our last new portfolio we had this year. I think mental health and accessibility are very, very important areas that need more recognition, need more awareness, need more platform. And so I'd like to pull up the guy to me to pull up our new media.
Sure, you get something.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Yes. Okay. So yeah, as Kamal just mentioned, this was the first year of the school, so I sort of did a lot of collaboration and tried to do as many as possible. So I guess I'll just go over some of the events and some of the successes. I started off the year with collaborating with SMCSU in their mental health conference. So they did a little bit of a 3-day event where they had different speakers sort of touching on mental health and speaking to the resources that were available. And I myself helped with the organization of that event as well as spoke at the event. And then secondly, we had the mental health seminar, which again was a collaboration with St. Mike's Wellness. We had Nicole LeBlanc, we had Emma, we had 2 students also speak a little bit about their experiences and experiences about balancing school with mental health, as well as Emma gave a really great presentation on coping with being online, and Nicole gave a little bit about all the resources that are available, and that event was rather successful. And then I had a collaboration with the Academics mentorship for the exam jam. So really the main thing that I helped out with was the exam wellness kits, which I think were a really big success. They were really great. They had some really awesome stuff. Claire had like a connection with Avon or Kiehl's. Yeah, one of those. And that was really great because it was really cool. It was like they were really great kits, and there was like a lot of great events. And then we had the Josh Riverdale keynote presentation, which was honestly he was like a really great speaker. For those of you who might, I guess everyone would know about it at this point, but it was a combination of sort of like comedy, stand-up, and personal anecdotes, sort of giving a little bit about dealing with mental health issues when you're a university student. And I think it was a great event. Even though we had a bit of low participation, I definitely think it's someone that we can have again. And then just quite recently, about I guess a week ago, we had a study in Live Night, which again was a collaboration with St. Mike's Wellness Club. That event was really focused on just sort of giving students fun stuff to do while also studying in a coop. And we also had some snacks, pizza, and we also did a draw. And I also collaborated with Claire as well as the faculty of music on the Students Inspired campaign, which Claire and I helped with promotional material and really just tried to help bring a little bit of visibility to that movement. Some of the challenges, definitely event participation. That was sort of, I did find that was challenging getting people to come out. But I think that it sort of did improve as the year went on. Also, increasing the visibility of mental health resources. I think that we sort of tried to do that with the exam jam, sort of including as well as study and Vibe night. And second mental health counselor is something that we've sort of been working on. It's been sort of, Dara and I guess I, to a certain extent, just sort of trying to push for that. And that is essentially, those are essentially my events. I have some of the posters that for those events. And Carl added some pictures for me, which I forgot he did. But yes, we have some pictures from the exam jam. That's the exam jam, and then we have some pictures from the study by night as well as the Josh Riverdale presentation. And this is my budget breakdown. And that's thank you very much. I tried to keep it quick. So.
Thank you very much, Evangeline. And so, with that, that's pretty much all the fellow counselors. Before we go on to Q&A, though, I think it's very important to give a huge shout out to Emma. Emma, thank you so much for everything that you do. We know it's your job, but you put in so much.
I do get paid for it, yeah.
You do get paid big bucks for a reason, because you put in so much effort. There's 11 of us, and you've given all of us all the attention. And even the fellow club members as well, the dogs, I think everyone's really grateful for you. And so, for anyone watching on this live stream or anyone else, big shout out to Emma once again. Thank you. Yeah, so I know that was quite lengthy, and I know you're probably a little tired, but it wouldn't be an AGM without, of course, questions. If anyone has any questions, you can also type your questions in the live stream chat. We will see them and answer them as well. But pretty much how it's going to work is you can ask a specific counselor about their portfolio, or you can ask a general question as well. And of course, I know we kind of jumped a little quickly over the finances. I'm more than happy to delve in a little deeper if needed. But it's all about transparency. So there you go. I'll open it up for Q&A now. Emma, yes, go ahead.
Can you tell us about what you spent the student improvement fund money on?
Oh, yeah.
Sure, Dara, yeah, please.
Oh, what you're going to, yeah, what you voted on.
Yeah.
And I'll remind you as you forget.
Yeah, very good.
No,
All those.
you see the previous one.
No, it's there.
Yeah, so basically, the student improvement fund this year, we're going to spend about $1.2 million. So 600 from the Student Improvement Fund, and then 600 from the President's Fund. And we're gonna renovate the athletic field, so over there is the dog park. It will now be changed to a human park. They're gonna restock the grass and everything, make it nice and pretty, and then we're gonna get picnic tables as well, so people can be outside in the summer. The coop, again, we're getting a sound system that's for the coop, because the coop is more for like chilling, lounging versus studying, I guess. So we're gonna see if we can have like music regularly, and then Suburban Hall beds again. They've been there for I think what 20 years, and it's carpet and it's gross. So redoing the floors, that one's gonna be a bit difficult because the people, there are gonna be students there in summer, but we're getting it done. And then historic house chairs are going to be changed. I don't know if you guys have been in Elmsley, but their chairs are cozy. And so those are going to be the chairs in most of the residences and the common room. Yeah, again, Elmsley Hall, they just have to put in shelves in the bathroom because it's like a shared bathroom, and sometimes people store their stuff there like while they're in residence. And then historic and Queensborough common room, again, they'll be renovated, change all the furniture. And then PR 166 to 168 is going to be renovated to accommodate for wellness counselors. I think, did you have a question? Yeah.
Oh, I was going to ask what is the student improvement and how
I have an answer for you.
Yeah, what is the
Okay.
Want to be the cover on the mic?
For what?
I didn't know that was.
So basically,
I don't know what was
I like. What is it? You know what? Here, give me 5 seconds.
Okay, yeah. So thank you for the question. It's a very important question, which is just for everyone in live stream as well. That what is the student improvement fund? What does that even mean? You kind of think, okay, student improvement, what does that look like? And so Dara's just going to look.
Yeah, I got the numbers.
Perfect. So let's have a look.
Okay, sweet. So I will present this with my phone.
What is it?
Okay, so basically what the Student Improvement Fund, please Emma fill in the gaps for me when you can.
Gotcha.
It's basically money from the students. So there's let me explain that better. So there's 3 parts. So there's the endowed, there's reserve, and then there's the expendable. So there's a certain amount, a really large amount that sits and basically accumulates interest. So that's like there permanently. And then each year you have an expendable amount that can be used from like the overall fund. So for this year we had $954,000 to use, but in the endowed it's $3 million, and then in the reserve, I feel like I'm saying these words and good job, yeah. So there's the endowed, reserve, and the expendable. So in the endowed is $3 million, so that one sits basically in such collecting interest. Then there's the reserve, which is $1 million, and then the expendable, 954. So the expendable, that's what we use for like renovation items each year. And then the reserve, you can, I guess we can, if necessary, dip into that. But, and so in total, there's about $5 million in the fund right now. And then, yeah, okay, there's more description. So the fund grows each year because of revenue from the student fund, from the student levi and use investment earnings. So like, leftover from like the fees and stuff goes into the fund, and then that also accumulates interest. And then in a typical year, we could conservatively rely on earnings of approximately $150K. So like each year, there's going to be at least $150K coming from like student fees. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Emma.
Yeah. So I'll just add on that the student improvement fund can be spent on only capital improvements. So it can't be spent to have a pizza party, or that was a lame example, or a formal, or things like that. It can only be used for capital permanent improvements to spaces on campus, whether those be indoor or outdoor spaces. And the fund is generated by fees that were collected over a 20-year period from students, and then that's what sits in the endowment and continues to gain interest, and then we spend the interest. And the council proposes the spending, and then it has to be agreed with the senior administration. So it's a co-owned fund that has to have equal agreement for spending.
Thank you very much. Oh, sorry, I think Dara wants to.
Sure. I would say another thing is from the previous years, which you guys might not know. So something that the last council spent money on was renovations in the Queens Park residences, so student rooms, washrooms, and laundry facilities, so like the last things we showed. And then Brennan Hall, so the money was spent on renovating the space. I don't know what it looked like before, but it's cute now. Elmsley Hall, again, we renovated like the rooms, common rooms, everything. And then the ice rink, which isn't there, but it's gonna be there. And it's gonna double as a basketball court. So the summer's gonna be a basketball court, and then in the winter they're gonna put the rink over it. Student weight rooms and wellness center renovations that's still undergoing, and then the drinking fountains as well across campus. Oh, not campus, but across St. Mike's, we added that. And then my favorite is the charging stations. So we got that last year. So there's one over there, and there's one in front of the registrar's office, and then the pool table as well, student improvement fund, hydration stations, new furniture in Kelly's Cafe, kitchenette renovation in SMCSU office.
That was the old six.
Okay. And then installation of the basketball net outside. Yeah, that's pretty much what we do with the SIF, student improvement fund.
Thank you, Lauren. Of course, thank you, Emma, for the clarification. I just want to repeat again. We don't just need to get to spend it. We have to obviously agree and be motion on it, and then accordingly it's a 50-50 thing with the other board as well. But yes, great question. Another one we'd love to hear it. Let me do one thing. Give me the mic.
Is there anything like process, about how it's spent, or is that simply cost of admin, like general students can see? Like also like our renovations and some student, which is fun, is that that's what I know. Why renovations
Okay. So the question was why renovation from this one and elsewhere, and also about processes? Yeah. Thank you.
I would say ideas for renovation, it generally can come from anyone. We discussed it in the council, so I would say a lot of the items that we have this year, like some came from council, but then some also came from Emma as well, because she noticed some things which we had kind of, clubs as well, so from Emma, from clubs. Generally, anyone that has an idea of what the money can be spent on, just have to bring it to council, and then we'll talk about it in the meeting, and then we'll go back to admin, which is then where we get a quote, and then we now have to prioritize, okay, which ones are feasible for this year, and then for the summer, or for like the following year. And then the second question was?
I think why this fund for renovations?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good question. So the university has 3 revenue streams. The first revenue stream is tuition, which you all know because you all pay that. Yeah, that's a big revenue stream. The second one is alumni donations, so getting funds from past alums or from donors who are not alums but want to donate to the university. And then the third stream is government funding because U of T is a publicly funded institution. So those are the 3 ways. Those are the 3 ways that the university gets money. And so this fund came from student fees, which falls into that first category. When I said tuition, I was including also your incidental fees. And so when we make renovations to spaces, we have to be drawing from one of those 3 funds or revenue streams. And so some renovations are done directly out of our operating budget, which can come from alumni donations or from other spaces. So one thing that noted is that all of these renovations have been matched by the President's Office Fund, which is generated by the golf tournament that happens in the summer each year, where we get donations from alums. And so the students and the President's Office contribute the same amount to each of these projects. But that doesn't always happen. Sometimes we do projects that are completely funded by administration. For example, we are upgrading all of the air conditioning units in the historic houses because they are in dire need of updating. And that's not something that's being paid for by the student credit fund, but is being paid for out of the administration budget. And so things like this that directly impact the student success, we often will see students wanting to contribute funds towards, but there's also things that we improve on that we don't use this fund for. And we can't make any decisions about this fund without the agreement of the council.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, and of course, thank you for the question. I think those are really great questions, which both our audience members and everyone will really appreciate to know more about. Also, now for the next question, we have Abby. Abby, what's your question? We'd love to hear.
So I'm just wondering, how are decisions made about the funding that different clubs get? Our SMCSU.
That's a great question. Claire, do you want to answer that? Because you're part of the group, no? Yeah. Okay. What do you think in charge of club admission? Our president. Anyway, so Abby, great question. She asked about who decides how clubs, what money clubs get. It's a person full of this. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So pretty much how it works is that there's a club admission board chaired by our VP academics, chaired by also a part of it. There's also a professor a part of it, and also we have a fellow counselor part of it too. I'm sorry, I can't fully remember the board, but how it works is we have that board who basically you get a chance, any new club along an existing club gets a chance to submit their budget proposal, I believe, along with a request to be part an SMC club essentially. And what we do is we evaluate that proposal. We check for, say, having a minimum amount of numbers in the minimum amount of executive members part of their club. How much they're. So when you request for money, we often ask you what. We often ask you for an estimate of what events those monies are going to go to, what initiatives, and so they usually how it goes. We have a breakdown of what you're going to planning on spending money on, and then how it's going to add up to that sum amount. What we do is we reconvene, we look at those requests to make sure you meet the minimum requirements of those people, and then we approve them. I think that's very much the process of how it goes. And once again, as Claire mentioned, we're getting new clubs every year. We really encourage clubs to apply. It's not just about them. And as I mentioned, troubadours is just because it's really expensive to have a theater performance. You really can't. It's a lot of money, and that's why we have a lot of money towards them. If you remove them, though, you'll notice how most of the money is about the same. And the biggest thing was that we matched what their budget was. So we made sure whatever the estimated request was, we gave it according to that. So it's not like well, SMC got stiff. It's because as they said, they're a Minecraft group, they don't need as much in-person expenditure, so that's why they have a cheaper or they have a lower budget than other clubs. Thank you very much.
Any final questions?
Any final questions? Once again, please ask away because the whole thing was to ensure transparency about explaining what we do. And we really want to make sure both you and anybody watching right now on the recording knows what's happening or on the live stream. Yes, final question.
If you have someone has a suggestion for the student position, you will move on. Is that just the concept or
Great question again. Pretty much just asking about if you have a
Oh, I was just going to add something that 2 weeks ago did was they had a survey and they brought it to all of their events in September and October, and I thought that was a really great idea and maybe something that the future council might want to consider. Obviously it's challenging to put things in person this year, but they had paper copies and actually had people fill it out at the pub night and at different events. And there were a lot of really great initiatives that were suggested through that. So the phone chargers, the water fountains, and the ice rink update were all came out of that survey. And so I think potentially, especially since so many of you are future council members, something you may want to do is have a survey like a way built in to get that feedback, as opposed to the way we did it this year, which is also fine, but maybe doesn't give as many people an option to give feedback. So having a survey could be a good idea. But every time I get something from a student, I write it down and then I bring it to the council. So it does get there if it comes to me.
For sure. Thank you very much, Emma. So yeah, if anyone has an idea, you can always come to us because that's the point of SMCSU, being approachable and being able to answer to your needs. And I think definitely, hopefully with next year being fully in person, you can actually come and see the council, you can go and plan for that survey and all that. So I think that's great. Thank you very much for the questions, Abby. Thank you for the questions as well. I think with that, we'll wrap it up there. Before we just conclude, I want to give a huge final shout out and applause for all the fellow counselors. I know that people who aren't part of SMCSU or even like just in general don't really know what we get up to, and I hope now through this meeting you have a better idea what we do and what we really tried our best to accomplish this year. And definitely, trust me, it's not easy. And in the end, we are all human, we're all students too. And so it's a lot to handle as well. And so now you have a better idea, I hope, of they're about to try to strike. We'll try to make sure we don't fail as well. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today on the live stream. Get home safe. Okay, 6 year counselors, you have a meeting. Go back to the